and welcome to this video. This is the first in a series of videos that I'm going to be doing on Saturdays. I was going to call them Simple Saturdays, and I still might, although this card I'm showing today, it is simple. You don't need a whole lot of tools, and you can use things that you have on hand as well. But let's just do a little introduction. As I say, my name is Natalie O'Shea, and you can find all the details for everything that you need on my blog, which is thecardmakingacademy.co.uk. And yeah, just refer back to the blog. There's lots of things on there, from card making courses to kits that you can purchase for handmade cards. It is my life endeavour to sit here and make card making less overwhelming, especially for new people as well. So I don't use crafting jargon that you don't understand what it means. I try and explain everything right back to when I was a beginner. Now I've been crafting nearly 30 years now. We won't talk about that, but I take myself back to when I remember going into my first craft shop and just being completely overwhelmed with all the products that are there. Oh my goodness, what do these things do? What do I need? Do I need everything? And you don't need everything, and that's kind of where I sit. I'm explaining everything down as if you were a complete beginner card maker, and some of you may be if you've seen these. But you can see things if you go to my website there, so www.thecardmakingacademy.co.uk. Now, as well as teaching you how to make handmade cards, I actually sell all the products that I use in these videos too. So if you have a look at www.natalieoshea.stampinup.net, that is another website of mine, but it's actually a shop. So everything, as I say, from the cardstock to the glue to the stamps to the dies to all the products, including the paper that you'll be able to see later, are all from a company called Stampin' Up, because I use their products because they use 50 colours that all coordinate, so I'm never looking for coordinating colours. They have punches and dies that cut out shapes and stamped images and things like that, and they're just quality products that last a lifetime. So that's why I use them. So there's my two different websites there. So say cardmakingacademy.co.uk is more informational, although you can sign up for monthly card club and things there. And the Stampin' Up, natalieoshea.stampinup.net is the straight to the online shop. Right, so what are we going to do today? So today I am going to show you, let's change my camera, there we go. This is the card I'm going to make, and as I say, I did kind of look at it and go, well, it's not super simple, but you know what, it can be. And I'm actually going to change this into a Mother's Day card as well, because it's Mother's Day here in the UK next weekend, and I need to make a Mother's Day card, and I love this card so much I thought I'd change it to a Mother's Day card as well. So that's what we're going to make. So let me just kind of go through a few things first. So this is a new limited edition product bundle from Stampin' Up, to be fair. Now the stamp set, so here's the stamp set. Now I actually didn't use these stamps in this card at all, but you could. So for example, I will say that these butterflies on this card have been cut out from this piece of pattern paper. And maybe I should have shown you the paper first. But that's to say that I've just cut those out, and that's it. So I haven't even coloured them. But you could stamp and colour them if you had the stamp set. So this is the stamp set. It's called Butterfly Brilliance. And it just has one stamp in it. And I've got everything piled up here. Hold on. So in my stamping platform, I've got it ready to rock and roll, you see. So there is my quite filthy stamp that's got stuff in it there. And as you can see, it's one stamp. It's going to stamp all these butterflies in one go. So if you didn't have the pattern paper, you could use the stamps. And of course, this is a red rubber stamp on a cushion. So you need some kind of platform, whether it's a platform, whether it's an acrylic block like this, something for it to stick to. So we're going to be using that a little bit later on. But I mean, some people, you could cut these up into individual butterflies, or you could buy a second set. So have one as a whole one and a second one, and you could cut them all out so you could stamp them individually as well. Completely up to you. Your stamp set, your choice. So that's called Butterfly Brilliance. That's currently, as I say, it's on limited edition. It's actually, we have a new catalogue coming to us in May, and this is actually something that's out of the new catalogue. So you can get your hands on it now. It's a pre-catalogue release, if you like. And this stamp set is normally £16. So that's what it is, £16 you can get it at the moment. Now what I will share with you as well is that because I am what they call a demonstrator, it just means that I've joined the Stampin' Up Club and I get a discount on my products. So I only paid £12.80 for this. So you can pay £16 if you purchase with me, or if you're a demonstrator yourself or you want to get a discount off your shopping, then you would only pay £12.80. There's more details in the description showing you how to join our Stampin' Up Club. Right, so that's Butterfly Brilliance. Now the brilliant thing with this is that there is a coordinating set of dies. So as I say, there's one die in one piece that cuts out, oh, they're not to scale. Hold on. Pretend it's to scale, because it is. It actually cuts out that stamped image, but I got this piece of paper out because it actually cuts out those as well. So to use dies, this is a die, and to use dies you need a die cutting machine that basically just squeezes the paper and the die together, because on this side here you can see, hopefully you can see close up, there's a line. Now that is actually a blade. Now I can run my finger over it, I'm not going to cut myself, but that is a blade, and so it will cut, when you squeeze them together, it will cut out those perfectly. So again, you don't have to have the dies to cut them out. You obviously could have the patience of a saint, and you could cut them out with scissors, and that's absolutely fine. If you don't have a die cutting machine, that's what you would do. That's what we did before die cutting machines existed. So look at that, it covers that exactly. And that's what I did to create these butterflies. I put this die and this piece of paper through, and look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, of which I'm using all but this one. And this one's my favourite, to be fair, but I use those other 5 as well because I just think the size of them worked perfectly. So that's what I did. So the dies, oh, not only do you get them, and you get lots. There are dies here that puts patterns onto your paper, some little butterflies, but you also get, look, all these. Can you see them if I put them there? Yes, skeleton dies as well. So that's what I've used. I don't know if you can, hopefully you can see that. On here, I've die cut out of vellum. So vellum is like thick tracing paper, if you like, but the posh word is vellum. And so I've cut 1, 2 vellum butterflies. Can you see that? Let's move that up a bit. That are just sitting over that one and that one. These 3 are plain, but that's got one over. It would be very difficult to do that without the dies, but do you know what? You don't have to have those on there to make this card look beautiful anyway. So 1 die to cut out that and the stamp set, all these skeleton dies, some textured dies, background dies, and more. And those dies are £41 all in, and again, they last a lifetime. I mean, unless you use it thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of times, perhaps, you might need to renew. I've never had to renew a die, never had to, but I suppose, you know, they are a blade, they will blunt over time, but I've never had to do one. So that's it. Now, as with everything with Stampin' Up, if you buy these 2 together, because if you do have a die cutting machine and you don't like fussy cutting with scissors, as we call it, then we give you 10% off of those anyway. So that's normally £51.25. So the dies are 41 on their own, stamp set 16 on their own, but bundled together £51.25. Now I said to you, as a demonstrator, I paid £12.80 for this. I paid £32.80 for that, but together I'd buy them for £41. So that's saving of a £10 already. So that is the bundle. I have only got 1 set of papers. There is another set and I haven't got it here, but this is the 6x6 papers. Now this is a limited edition, so this is only available up until May, and then it'll be gone. So, and these coordinate with this set, and obviously I've been using this like mad to make some beautiful cards like this one. So you have let's do that one. So that's that sheet there. So you get 8 sheets of 4 designs. So that's the perfect one for die cutting out. You can use it as a background paper as well, of course. And then you have a slightly more subtle background to it. So that's beautiful. I can see unicorns and all sorts on that. Then we have, let's put this, because I've got it all out of order. Then we've got this kind of background with some pattern butterflies on the back. Again, 8 sheets of that. Then you've got this one, again, a bit more like that unicorn one, but more orangey and yellow, with a rainbow of butterflies across there. then this paper here with, let's turn it up the right way, there we go, butterflies, and then a kind of spotty, not quite polka dot, but speckled more, I suppose would be the word. What else have I got? What else have I made? There we go, let's pick that one. I've mixed them all up. There is only 4 designs almost. Right, so this butterfly here, again, beautiful, just a sheet of that. I don't think you need much more than a sentiment on that, do you? But again, that's got more the sort of reds and pinks in it. And then the last one is this one, which is again more butterflies, oh, but with that background there. Just to all coordinate. So let's get rid of those. So 6 by 6, and as I say, that is normally £10. What is £10.75 as a demonstrator? I just pay £8.60. So let's put those to one side. So should we get going? Because that's everything there. But we want to make this card, and I don't want this video to last forever. So I have done a lot of Blue Peter-esque style here, and as I say, I'm going to turn this into a Mother's Day card because I love this card so much. I'm making it for my mum. So let's do this. So what you'll find is I don't go into all the measurements here, but there will be a PDF that is produced, and you can get that by signing up to my mailing list over the next week. It will change at the weekend to the next week's card. So fill that, but again, you'll see all the information in the description, whether you're on YouTube or on Facebook or wherever this is. So my base card, a slimline card. I don't normally go for a slimline card. I'm normally an A6 kind of girl, which is like a quarter of an A4 sheet. But no, this is a nice slimline card because I needed it so big to to get all the butterflies on that I wanted to. So I have a piece of So Saffron card. That is the yellow. I could have gone So Saffron or Mango Melody. I did try Mango Melody, but I found it a little bit too bright. And then another strip of black card there as well. So that's my kind of main layers there, and my butterflies are going to sit on here. But hopefully you can see this lovely pink scallop here. Now, if you had a punch that would do a border punch, you could use that. You could use any kind of die that's got a pattern to it as well. But this is actually some ribbon, but it's just the side of the ribbon. So you can see there, it's that bit there. So I have stuck this onto there, so just that pink bit is sticking out, and that's what we're going to do. So let's put all this to one side. So that's my base card, just black, folded in half there. I've got my So Saffron piece, which in fact I could just stick on. Let's just do that. So let's stick it on. So I tend to use in my card making mostly, I mean there's different adhesives for different jobs, and this is almost running out. Come on, there we go. This, what we call Tombow multi-purpose adhesive. It just means that when I stick it on, if I haven't stuck it on straight, I get a little bit of forgiveness, and it means that I tend to use my grid paper to make sure my card's straight, so that at least that gives me a head start. I'm trying to make sure this border and this border is as close as can be before I stick this down for life. So again, making it straight. Got a tiny bit of wiggle room for a second or two, but that's it. There we go. And that's great, and that won't move now. But that's good. That's all I need. And if you find it slightly sticking out I mean, I don't even know if you can see that. I've got a very, very slight overlap. If you're a little bit OCD like I am, you might chop that off. I'm not going to today. But here we go. So now we've got our black piece down the centre there. So I'm going to put this to one side, and I'm going to get my tape. So for ribbon, I tend to use tape more than anything. If you use wet glue, not only does it take quite a long time to stick, it can get messy. It can go through the ribbon and not stick. So your best thing, anything ribbon related, is tape. So I am putting this just along. Now you can use tape just to stick things down. So where I just used this glue to stick down that piece of card, I could use tape too, but it doesn't give me, once it's stuck, it's stuck. When it comes to paper and card, it's stuck. So I don't like to use it for that. But if you're literally sticking it down and you're happy, then go for it. So I'm just putting it close to the edge. Now this isn't the glue that's going to stick this piece of card down, it's the glue that's going to stick my ribbon to here. Now I'm a bit of a tweezer girl, so I'm just going to get rid of this. This is just double-sided tape, so it's stuck to there, and now I'm peeling off, and that's giving me a sticky strip there and a cat hair. Joys of working in a house with cats. Okay, now this is a bit curly and it's not particularly straight. So what I'm going to do, I'm looking for a bit to go off the end start, but I'm going to use the line here as my guide. So I'm going to stick it as close as I can. Now this ribbon I can peel off if it's not happy, but I'm just doing it sort of inch by inch and making sure that I can't see any of that sort of crafty colour in the middle. Now if I didn't like that, if I had done it wonky, I can still peel it back. So if I'd done it like that, I could peel it back and then just go in again. And it's great because it's got a line, so that's it. And this is quite thick ribbon as well, so I'm just going to take my scissors, I'm not going to wrap it round or anything, I'm literally just going to cut it there and cut it there. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same for the other side. So can you see when I turn it over? Love it. Love a bit of scalloped edged ribbon. Right. So exactly the same again. Get rid of my tape. Let's put that bit there. And off we go. You can see me doing this. So I normally do Facebook Lives. I do Facebook Lives every Wednesday at midday. So I normally have a good old chat with people, but I'm doing these as videos, these Saturday ones, because I don't tend to work weekends. They are my family time. Normally that means food shopping and cooking for kids and husband and girlfriends. Not my girlfriends, their girlfriends. Not my husband's girlfriend either. Right. And there we go. So that, look at that, looks lovely. So I could use the tape again, but again I'm going to use, because I want my wiggle room, just going to put a bit of glue there. It's quick, it's easy, it gives me a wiggle space. Right, so again I'm making sure that these two yellow borders are as close to the same size as I can. I'm going to try and make sure I've not got yellow showing at the top, because there's no border at the top and bottom of these. There we go. When I'm happy, just give it a press down, and in a couple of seconds that'll be dry. So there we go. How easy is that? It's just a couple of layers and adding ribbon to get a wavy side. So what have we got next? So as I showed you with my piece of paper, I did, oh, she says, goodness knows where it is now. There it is. So I did use my, everything's so safe, I can't finally put it all away. So there we go. So I did run this through my embossing machine. Looks like an old mangle if you've not seen one before. And that just squeezes it so that those blades cut out those images. And then I get, look, all these flowers. They're not flowers at all. What am I talking about? Butterflies. Goodness me. So I picked out 5 that I wanted, and I kind of laid them out so you get an idea of your spacing. So this can come down a bit because it's a bit squashed up near the top and not so much. I'm trying to keep them central, although I know these aren't particularly symmetrical, but that's looking pretty good. Just wiggle around until you're happy. So these are all stuck on flat. So again, whichever adhesive you like, but I like my Tombow. So a tiny bit just on the back there. I did think about bending these, but if you've got to put in an envelope, that's not too easy, is it? So there's that one. Which is great if you're giving it to somebody, or if you box it instead of envelope it, which to be fair I could do because I am seeing my mum on the doorstep. There we go. I'm not going to glue the tips of the wings because, as you hopefully just saw, they were hanging off. I might do those bits. There we go. So as I say, if you don't have this paper or you don't have the dies, so if you have the paper but you don't have the dies, you can cut these out by hand. If you don't have the paper, you have your stamps, you could stamp them, colour them and put them on. If you don't have the stamps or the dies or the paper or anything, if you have other butterflies or flowers, this doesn't have to be butterflies. This could be, you could replace this, hold on, concentrate. So these could be different sized flowers. They could be anything, to be fair. Any 5 images that kind of vary in size. Or they could be 3 of the same, of whatever you've got. There we go. So I'm happy with that. There's my 5 butterflies. They're all stuck on now. And then I got my skeleton dies. For example, this one. So again, you can see the blade going around there. And I got some vellum paper and literally ran it through a couple of times and they all just fell out. It was amazing. So I did these 2 here because that one goes with that one and that one goes with that one. So all I did with this was I didn't stick these down. So as you saw, they do come up. So I literally want a little bit of glue down there, and a little bit of glue down there, or you could glue the vellum, whichever you prefer. Doesn't make any difference really. So this one is this one. So again, it matches that. And I'm not too worried about, well, you wouldn't be able to see, this glue actually dries clear. So you wouldn't be able to see the glue under it anyway. Our vellum is quite thick, so it rarely shows through that the vellum anyway. But as you can see, I've got some sequins anyway to cover that up. So you could cover it up with anything. There we go. But again, because it's a wet glue, it does take a couple of seconds to dry. So I'm happy with that. And what have we got next? Let's put some sequins on. I would if I could. Oh, there they are. I was going to say, I knew I had them around here somewhere. So these are woven thread sequins assortment. I thought they went perfectly with these colours. So I've got the blues and the pinks. And this is my Take Your Pick tool. Because it's got a little bit of putty on the end and it just makes picking up sequins and sticking them down perfect. So I'm going to, they're not adhesive, these sequins, I'm just going to stick a little bit of glue down the centre there. Oh, come on, there we go. I might go, what did I do? I just went 3. Okay, but it went right down there. And a little bit of glue on there. There we go. So that just picks them up and helps me put them down. Now we've just got to find more. Oh, there we go. So the putty just literally is, it's like plasticine if you like. Oh, the only problem is it's difficult getting them off. But it's got various ends like this. Look, so it's got a pokey tool, it's got a spatula. It's very good. It's very good. Right, should we have that one? Is that a blue one? That's a blue one as well. Again, I normally don't leave my sequins with holes. I normally put rhinestones in the middle, so I might do that, you know. Let's put that there for a moment. Come on. Cool. There we go. There we go. I think so 3 fit nicely. I think I am, you know, because this is for my mum going Mother's Day. I will actually get some rhinestones out as well. So we do self-adhesive rhinestones here, and again, so I'm going to cover the holes. I'm just going to go with the blue actually. Should probably wait for this to dry a little bit more, to be fair. But yeah, I know you haven't got all afternoon or morning, depending on when you're watching this. Right, oh. So I say that the rhinestones are self-adhesive, so I haven't got to worry about sticking glue on a sequin, which also makes it neater as well. There we go, look at that. Can't have too much bling. Sequins and rhinestones. Whoop, whoop. Okay, so lastly, it's just for us to do this bit here. Now, normally, if you are a new beginner to card making, you might sit there and go, well, that's great. You've got white writing on black card. How do I do that? And there are some white ink pads around, but they're not. They don't give as clear and bright white as that. So that's all about heat embossing, it's called. So let's show you a little bit of heat embossing while we are here. So here's my black piece of card. I wipe my anti-static bag over it, which is just a bag with almost like talcum powder in. I've had this since I started. It's one of the first things I bought, and I've still got it. It's still going strong. Talcum powder in a stocking would make it smell nice if you did that as well. And then I get my stamp. So let's do, I'm picking thank you for this example, but I've already done a Mother's Day. Well, I've done a Mother's Day and a hello actually. Here's my blue Peter. But I'm going to do a thank you now as well. So this is a Versamark ink pad. It's a glycerin based ink pad, and it's also called a watermark stamp pad, because if I was to stamp this on something like that So Saffron paper, the yellow, it would leave a watermark effect. But because it's glycerin based, I'm not worrying about how straight or anything this is, it's sticky, which means that powders and very fine glitters and things stick to it. Now you can't, I don't think you can see anything. Can I, if I show you that? Oh, you can, look. So you can see it's left a watermark, but at the moment that is sticky. So this was my stamp. It's red rubber on the sponge, and then I've got an acrylic block. Let's put that away. And then what I want to do is find a piece of, let's find a piece of paper just to stick underneath. And then we have my very big pot of white embossing powder, it's called. And this gets mucky over time. But don't worry, chuck a load on, because basically, wherever it's sticky, it's going to stick, and wherever it's not sticky, it's not going to stick. And the reason for using this anti-static bag was when I touch a piece of oil, when anyone touches a piece of oil, you have oil, paper, you have oil in your fingertips, and so the oil will stick to the paper and the fine powder will stick to the oil on the paper. And you don't want that. So that kind of gets rid of any static electricity that there is, but also any oils and grease and that as well. The powder in that embossing folder sticks to as well. Now, what you'll find is probably the same as everybody else, is you go, well, that's lovely, but look, you've cut that up. But all is not lost. All I need, so this is stuck, and you might want to get rid of any kind of wayward ones, because each tiny little speck that you see will stay. So give it a good, let's get rid of that. But we don't worry about this. What we do is we just bring our brush, any paintbrush, brush of any sort, and it's gone. So it's not going to melt like that, because what we're going to do next, in fact I might just do a bit more on that, I think. But I can just do that as well. That's why I've got it in a bigger pot. There we go. But of course, again, that's stuck, but that's fine. Get rid of that. That's better. It's got lots of powder on now. So you could leave that for a little while. It's just got the powder on it, but we aren't finished. The glycerin in the Versamark ink pad would dry, and the powder would fall off. So what we do is we get a heat tool. Now this is a heat tool. Oh, she says, can we see it? Let's get rid of my embossing powder. You just pour that back in your pot. So I'll do that in a second. Let's get rid of it. So this is a heat tool. It is very hot. Do not use your hairdryer. Hairdryer doesn't go hot enough. This goes hot. Don't use this as a hairdryer, because you'll burn yourself and set fire to your hair. Let's not do that. That was my warning. Warning! Don't do that. But it is hot enough to heat this embossing powder and melt it, and that's what we're looking for. Now I don't know if you're going to see the effect here, but I will try. Now if you have got this up loud, I'm going to switch this on. It's going to make a bit of a noise, so you might want to turn me down. Give you a second to do that. So that's powder, and you might, we'll say, it's going to go bright white. I hope you get to see that. If I do it right here, you might. Right. Did you see that go or not? But once it's melted, so it does go slightly brighter white, and you can see it when you're doing it yourself. You may not have been able to see it then. Now, if I was to touch that now, that would smudge because that is just melted. And it's having a trouble, isn't it? So that is melted. So it would, first of all, I'd burn my hand because that's burning hot. And secondly, it would smudge. But it takes a couple of seconds to dry, literally a couple of seconds. And if you were to feel that, you would sit, can you see that? No, I don't think you can. It's actually raised. So that is, I don't do it. No, there it is. Yeah, so if I feel that now, it is dry and it's just slightly, as the name suggests, embossed. And that's what we do. So that's how a lot of people would get their gold, silver, good for wedding invitations, things like that. And you would do all I mean, good luck to you if you're doing like 200 thank you cards and invitations and this, that and everything else with heat embossing. Knock yourself out. It is great. I don't think I'd use it for lots, but then that's me. If you have more patience than me, which you may well have, then knock your socks off. Right, so then I've just trimmed that down. So for example, here's my Happy Mother's Day that I've done. So I'm just going to literally bring my card back. So I've got all sorts here now, but look at that, Happy Mother's Day. Now, we have things called dimensionals, and these are just little hexagons of foam. They're double-sided sticky, so it's sticky underneath and it's sticky on top when I remove that paper. And we have them in white and we have them in black. So obviously I've got black cards, so I'm using some black ones, and I'm just going to put 2 in. And what that does is, as the name suggests, it gives it a little bit of dimension. It's going to make sure that that it sticks up and sticks out. Let's not do it up the right way. There we go. And there we go. And hopefully I'll be able to show you. Can you see that? That's just sticking out away from the card. It's difficult to see at that angle, but it is. So we've got a bit of dimension on these wings, we've got a bit of dimension on the sentiment, and we've got lots of rhinestones and sequins and blings and everything. So that's it. That's our card made. So if you already had butterfly stamps, you could use those. If you didn't, you could use any objects. You could make the card shorter. So let's say we took that away there. You could have a card with 3 things on. So that looks quite beautiful as well. So again, it could be footballs for a young lad. It could be anything. You could put anything down on here and use this sort of layout. Or you could take inspiration from the colours as well. So the pinks and the yellows that are here. So this is actually a blushing bride. This ribbon is actually Rococo Rose, but I thought by the time you've covered that up, it looks like it goes fine with that. Again, if you get to know me, you'll know that I'm a bit OCD and I have to have colours in that coordinate. I've obviously got the blacks and the whites there as well. And this was Mango Melody and So Saffron here as well. But all the links are in the description as well. So if there's something that you fancy there, if you think, oh my goodness me, I must have those butterflies, then just click on the link. And it will take you through to my shop. You'll be able to see other samples made with this. I am actually coming every Saturday this month in March. We're in March 2021, so you may see this video at a later date. But yeah, every Saturday in March I'm going to be coming to you with a butterfly card because I just love this, and you can't get your hands on it. We can. If we waited for the annual catalogue, which comes out in May, we would have to wait for this, but this is a pre-release. So it's some gorgeous stuff. And the papers you can only get up until the 3rd of May. So yeah, I think papers are amazing. And you'll see me use a lot of them over this coming month. But that's it from me. If you're watching this on Facebook and you don't subscribe to my channel, then please do so. If you are watching it on YouTube and you don't subscribe, then please do so. They will both let you know when I've uploaded a new video. If you've got any questions on any of this, then please let me know as well. I am here to help. As I said, just as a reminder, that is my website and my blog, www.thecardmakingacademy.co.uk. And if you want to shop the products, then the products are at www.natalieoshea.stampinup.net, or you can click the links in the description as well to be taken to these. As I say, the papers only available from now until May the 3rd, 2021. So if you are watching this after that date, unfortunately you won't be able to get the papers. but you will be able to get these butterflies will be around in the annual catalogues, in fact till July or May next year. So any questions, then just please tag me or email me, let me know. I will be more than happy to answer, and watch out for more details coming soon. If you want to know, have links to these and that, just sign up for my mailing list and I'll link to these videos, and you'll find out all the news and what's going on. So thanks again for joining me. It's been lovely. There we go. Thanks for watching. And as I say, subscribe to me and share this video with any of your friends that you think might like it too. If you need some last minute ideas for Mother's Day cards, that's it. Thanks very much. Bye.